Thanks for joining us today on Playing the Field Local Edition. I'm Maria Serrao. As you can see, I am out here on the girls' softball field. They are practicing right behind me, and we had a chance to sit down with all the girls, so let's meet the team.
The team this year has grown a lot, as is always the case. There are a lot of seniors on this team, but there are also a lot of new faces on this year's team. So there was a lot of putting the pieces together. There were some pieces that came out late. Kelly Beaupre is our shortstop, and she was playing soccer, and the soccer team made a run in the CIF playoffs, so we didn't get her until the night before our first game. And we had another player who transferred, Allie, and so she had to sit out for the transfer rules. So there are a lot of new faces, and there's a lot of putting pieces together, a lot of adapting and adjusting on the fly. So it's really just now that the pieces are starting to come together, and we're getting some consistency.
As a coach, when you see the girls come in, especially new girls, how do you know where they're going to best fit on the field?
Yeah, good question. A lot of times it changes. And in fact, last year we had a situation where things got changed a lot. And some of it was because of injury, but then injury got us to these places that we thought, oh, this is even better, And so it's a lot of trial and error, a lot of giving them opportunities to play different positions, and keeping your eyes open and also keeping your ears open. I don't pretend to have all the answers, so I do a lot of listening to them as well and their feedback.
Also, a lot of the girls just play softball. Some people, play other sports. What do you sort of encourage?
I encourage them to follow their passions all over the place. When we're in softball season, I want there to be a commitment to this team, and there should be a commitment to all the things that they want to be a part of. But I also want them to pursue their other passions. I think we do a lot of people a disservice to say at age 14, you got to focus on one thing. I think people who have multiple passions are blessed to have those passions and should follow them as long as they can.
What do you hope that they get out of the program in the end?
Okay, so I have to say that I really appreciate you asking that question, because that's really at the center of, as a coach, of what I need to come to grips with is what are we trying to accomplish? And it's evolved over the years. What I want for them most of all is to have a positive experience. And that means a lot of times coaches will say that it should be fun. And it should be, but I think it's way more than that. I think it's an opportunity to feel supported and an opportunity to support other people. In life, that's such a blessing. You realize when you get a chance to be there for somebody else. That's what I really want. I want them to give of themselves. I want them to care. I want them to put their hearts out there and take that risk and be vulnerable, and then feel supported and be able to support others. So when you do that, look, you're going to feel safe, you're going to feel comfortable, then you're going to feel happy, then you're going to have fun. That's probably priority one for what I want them to get out of this.
The fun question we're going to ask everybody is, what is your favorite pregame meal, Coach?
So, oh gosh, you asked me at a time that I just happened to be trying to get my nutrition in order. So I keep it light. I'll have some fruit and some water and tackle it.
Save the cheeseburger for later.
Yeah, exactly. Post game. Now that's a different story. Yeah.
Tell me why you chose softball as your sport and how long you've been playing.
So I've been playing softball for about, I want to say 12 years now. I was initially doing like soccer and softball, soccer in the fall, softball in the spring, but soccer just kind of got a little boring to me, and I started doing fall ball, and I've just kind of like fell in love with it when I started doing fall ball, and I was doing it year round, and now I'm on a team outside of school as well, and so we get the additional opportunities to get out, do some reps, hit some balls, and it's just it's kind of, for me, it's kind of freeing just from, homework and like home life and that kind of stuff. If I get out to play in softball, it's a really kind of, I want to say, rejuvenating feeling, really.
What's the difference between playing for the high school team and playing in a league?
With the high school team, you kind of know all your friends from school, and when you're kind of with a different league or with a different team, you get to see people from maybe different schools, different cities that you maybe don't get to see all the time. And I have friends from both teams, so that's really cool to get kind of like varying opinions and like different styles of playing softball. So it's really cool to see that.
And then, what position do you play?
I really like playing third base, but I've been mainly playing a lot of outfield, or I'm kind of a utility. As long as I'm not pitching or catching, I can virtually play any position. But
Is that more difficult to learn all the little tiny things that you need to learn for each position?
it's a little difficult. It's kind of, for shortstop, you have to have a lot of range of motion, but for, outfield, you got to kind of have like a sense of direction and spatial awareness, because you don't want to, run headfirst into a fence, or you don't want to like trip in any holes in the ground. And I feel like it's a really good skill to have, though, to be able to play a lot of different positions, just in case, maybe the one that you really want to play, someone else may be better than you, or it's not taken. So I think it gives you like multiple opportunities to be able to play.
I've always thought that being a utility player was so much more valuable because you know so much more.
Yeah, that's kind of how I like to think of it. My dad said that I'm basically the Kike Hernandez, who's the utility on the Dodgers of Penn softball.
We were going to ask you who your favorite team was, but I guess we know now.
Dodgers, yeah, definitely.
Tell me a little bit about this team this year and why it's so special.
We have a lot of big personalities, and everyone's super lively and fun to be around, and it's always really cool. It's a really cool experience being in the dugout, cheering for the team, and everyone's super like loud and rowdy, and it's just a really good environment to be in.
All right, Kike, what is your favorite pregame meal and the meal before the night before the game?
Pre-game meals, probably just an Uncrustable, a little PB&J, and then the night before, probably a hamburger or something like that. I always go to the Habit right across the street.
I've been playing softball since kindergarten, and I chose it because I really liked the way the sport was played, and I also really liked my teammates, and I had a lot of fun playing it.
Did you ever play any other sports?
Yeah, I tried like a couple years of soccer and volleyball, but I didn't really like it as much.
Spending so much time playing softball all these years, what do you think you've learned the most from playing? Maybe even off the field things.
I think I've learned a lot about how to work with teammates and work in groups, and how to have fun and try my best at everything.
And then what do you guys do for team building?
So we have tonight we have a team dinner because we have a home game tomorrow, and then we've also done activities like we've gone karaokeing. Yeah.
That's very cool. And then we're going to ask everybody, what is your favorite pregame meal?
Anything, I don't know.
Do you have a favorite? Are you a light eater? Do you like to eat a big meal? Or
Light eater. Yeah.
Tell me how long you've been playing softball and why you chose it for your sport.
I've been playing for 14 years, and I chose it because I made All-Stars, and so I just kept with it.
Okay. What position do you play?
I'm a catcher.
Okay. So tell me what the biggest challenge is being a catcher, because you really have to be on the same, wavelength as the pitchers all the time.
It's just making the right decision and making sure you're communicating and getting the right signals to everybody.
Okay. And then from season to season, since you've been playing for so long, what do you tend to work on to get a little bit better?
Communication is key, so we have to work on that a lot, and it's the main thing.
Did you ever play any other sports?
I played soccer, but I wasn't very good.
Go to the sport that you're really good at.
Yeah.
All right. And then what's like the one message that your coach tries to get you guys to remember?
Play with heart and to care. Don't just go through the motions.
Then tell me about your team building.
Oh, we do karaoke and team dinners, and they're really fun.
Okay. Who's the best singer on your team?
Oof. Probably Mads.
I've been playing since I was 5 years old, and my cousins introduced it to me, and they're also on the Peninsula team.
Okay, and then what do you think you liked about the game that you stuck with it for so long?
I like the teamwork and stuff, and I don't know, I just liked it more than soccer and gymnastics and other sports.
What positions do you play?
I play outfield.
What do you think is the biggest challenge, and where do you sort of mentally focus when you're out there?
I think the biggest challenge is trying to stay focused. Although you might not get as many balls, you have to stay focused every pitch.
Are you center fielder or which?
Left field.
Left field, right. Yeah. Okay. And then tell me what the message that the coach tries to get you to remember.
To And like do our best every inning, every pitch.
Okay, that's a good one. And then tell me your favorite pregame meal and the meal you like to have the night before.
I don't know. I just like sushi in general. Yeah. Yeah.
What about for team bonding? What kind of things do you guys do?
We have like team dinners and like karaoke. So,
Who's your best singer on your team?
probably Madison. Yeah.
I've been playing softball since I was 5, and I chose it for my sport because I've actually bounced around from different sports, and I found this sport like the one I love, the one I would want to go wake up and go like practice and play games, and yeah.
What do you think it was about softball that made you feel that way?
I love like getting dirty, diving. I love the whole fact of that, and that's what I loved.
Okay, and then what position do you play?
I'm actually a pitcher and a right fielder.
Okay, so because you've been playing for a really long time, what do you work on in the off season to get a little bit better?
I work a lot on workouts for like my stamina for pitching, and I work a lot of like reps on for my defensive, and then for hitting, I also do a lot of reps.
What do you think is the biggest challenge for a pitcher?
Not getting frustrated at yourself in a game, because I know personally myself, I get frustrated with myself, and when I calm down, I throw what I want to throw and I throw it where I want to throw it, but when I'm frustrated, it just is not my way.
Very good answer. Yeah. Tell me about your team bonding.
Our team bonding, we actually we do karaoke almost every year, and it's something that brings us together, not with softball, because we don't talk about softball. We just kind of have fun together and like get to know each other outside of softball.
Who's the best singer?
Madison Denson.
All right, and then tell me what you like to have for your pregame meal and then the meal the night before the game.
The night before the game, I always eat something light, maybe like a salad, and like I snack on apples if I'm hungry later on in the day or not. And then before a game, I always have a sandwich. Yeah.
Any particular kind of sandwich?
A turkey sandwich with lettuce and tomato only.
I've been playing softball since I was 7 years old, and after trying out a few different sports, I just settled. Softball is like the last sport to try, so I just stuck with it.
Okay, what do you think it is about the game that you really like?
I love being around people constantly, and it's just great having friends around you all the time.
Okay. And then what positions do you play?
I play third base.
Okay. What do you think is the biggest challenge playing third?
It's like you have to cover a lot of range, and you have to have a strong arm.
Okay. From season to season, because you've been playing for so long, what do you do to get a little bit better?
I do my own private practices for fielding and hitting.
Okay. What kind of things do you work on specifically?
Hitting techniques and having a plan before you get in the box.
Okay. And then tell me about your team building.
Oh, team building. My favorite has been karaoke. And it's just fun to see everyone out of their element a little bit.
I asked your last teammate who's the best singer.
Madison.
She's gonna get the most votes here. Okay, and then what is the message that the coaches sort of impart upon you?
They always want you to try your best and like just give everything you've got. It doesn't matter how well we're doing, just full effort.
I've been playing since I was 9, and I chose it because, well, my mom was really into it, so she wanted me to do it as well. So.
Did you ever play any other sports?
I've tried soccer for like 2 weeks, and it didn't work out. So.
Softball was better.
Yes.
Okay. What positions do you play?
I'm a catcher mostly.
And do you work with the other catchers, sort of maybe just going over pitchers and things like that?
Yeah, we like kind of discuss strategy and stuff.
Okay. So. And then did you ever play any other positions?
I play like a lot of I tried out a lot of positions, so.
But catcher obviously fit you better.
Yeah.
Okay. And then from season to season, what do you sort of work on as a catcher to get a little bit better?
I like to in general just work on speed and accuracy with my throwdowns, and I try to get the strategy better. As I've gotten older, I've been able to understand the game more and kind of strategize better.
Okay. And then what do you guys do for team bonding?
Well, we had a karaoke night, and we have team dinners and stuff. So.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
And then what is your favorite pregame meal and the meal the night before?
Well, the night before I just eat whatever my mom makes. Okay. And then before games, it's usually just whatever I have for lunch, so.
Okay. I've been playing softball ever since I was 10, and I don't know, I played a bunch of different sports when I was younger, and softball just really stood out to me. I just enjoyed it from the moment I started playing. and I just stuck with it.
What were the other sports that you tried?
Soccer, volleyball. I did used to dance.
Okay.
I wasn't very good. And yeah, that's it.
And what is it about softball that you think you liked the most?
I like to hit, and the team, like the chemistry, it's just amazing. And like I just like being able to spend time with my friends after school doing something that we all love.
Speaking of that, what do you guys do for team bonding?
We go to karaoke and we have team dinners before every home game, so I look forward to that.
And what position do you play?
I play second base and outfield.
Infield, outfield. What do you think are the biggest challenges for both?
Definitely reading the ball, and softball is a very mental game, and you're always thinking, and you have to be a play or two ahead of everybody else so you don't fall behind, and I think that's the most important part.
I've been playing since I was about 8 years old, and I kind of chose it because I don't like running, because I used to play soccer, so yeah, that's probably why.
Why do you think you stuck with this game? What was it that you enjoyed doing?
I just really love playing, I guess. Like the teammates that I've had and the positions I played.
My next question is, what positions do you play?
I'm a catcher and third baseman.
Okay. What do you think? Because catching, you've got to be doing something all the time. What's the biggest challenge being a catcher?
Having the endurance throughout the game, especially if it's like a hot day and the pitcher's not doing so well, you got to be there for the team and like really hold them up and make sure that everyone's doing what they're supposed to, and especially that you're doing your job and protecting the plate.
Okay. And from season to season, what do you sort of do to get a little bit better?
Just repetition, practice. That's always key. And then looking towards your like coaches and your teammates to help you improve. Okay.
What's the message that the coaches sort of impart upon you guys?
The coaches the biggest message I believe they give us is that we should always try our hardest no matter what and give 100% effort all the time.
And then tell me what you guys do for team bonding.
Team bonding, we usually do a lot of team dinners, and then we have karaoke. We do that kind of thing, and like sometimes we'll hang out with each other individually, and that's always fun, going to lunch or something.
I've been playing softball since I was 9, and I chose it as my sport because I like it. I like how it's not just athletic, but it's also a logical sport.
Okay. And did you ever try any other sports?
I did play soccer for a long time, and I played volleyball for a couple of years.
Do you still, or did you just settle on softball?
I settled on softball.
Okay, so that's kind of a huge commitment. What do you think you liked most about softball that the other two didn't offer you?
I liked that it really also involved my mind, and it was simultaneously a team sport while also being something that I could do on my own.
Okay. From season to season, what do you sort of work on? First of all, what position do you play?
I'm a catcher.
Okay. So that you talk about the mind. You have a lot of things going on all the time. What do you sort of work on from season to season to get a little better?
I usually work on my hitting and helping my pitchers figure out what's going on and what's wrong and that kind of stuff.
Because you're the catcher, how much time do you spend with the pitchers from day to day or game to game to get ready?
A lot of time, because we spend almost the whole warm-ups together and like a lot of practice time together.
Does it take a long time to sort of get to know a new pitcher?
Yeah, it takes a really long time, like at least a season or two, to really kind of understand, what their weaknesses are, but also what their strengths are.
Okay. And then what do you guys do for team bonding?
Team bonding, we do a lot of different things, mostly team dinners. Sometimes we'll go like laser tag or karaoke and, to have a little more fun.
I've been playing softball for about 8 years now. I first chose it because my dad played baseball, and it was a nice father-daughter thing for us to do, and it just grew on me.
Okay, what position do you play?
I play left field and second base.
Okay, at those positions, we'll take left field. What do you think is the biggest challenge when you're out there?
I think the communication between everyone on the field is one of the most important things, just so we know who's getting the ball and where it's going.
Okay. And then what is the message that your coach tries to get you guys to remember?
I he talks a lot about communication and just bringing us together as a team.
Okay.
So.
And then tell me about your team bonding.
For team bonding, we've had a few things. We went to a team dinner. We also had a karaoke night, which was really fun.
Was that fun?
Yeah.
Did you get up there and sing?
I sang a little bit.
I've been playing softball like ever since I could remember in the backyard with wiffle balls. I don't know what really drew me to it. It was just having so much fun with my friends, really.
And did you ever play any other sports?
Yes, I did play soccer for a while, but my main focus was always softball.
Okay, so what positions do you play?
I used to play all over the place, but most of the time I play outfield.
Okay. What do you think is the biggest challenge playing in the outfield?
It's always those like really big plays when you have to go really far back on the ball or really far up and have to make those diving catches. So it's always those that are like the real like game defining plays.
Okay. Now, what do you sort of do before game to focus in?
I just take deep breaths and really kind of visualize what's going on and what I have to expect when I'm going up to bat. For team bonding, we do all sorts of stuff. Like recently we just did karaoke. And just like hanging out on the field is like a lot of team bonding right away.
Okay. And who is the best singer?
Definitely Nicole is the best singer on the team.
All right. Then tell me the messages that your coaches try to get you to remember.
He really likes to have us really think about what we need to work on and really focus in on the game, especially with softball, it's really hard to like keep your focus, but it's also a very important part of the game and that really like defines what makes a good player versus a bad player.
I've been playing since I was 5, started in T-ball, and then I picked it, I think, just because of the people. Everyone on softball is always really nice and really friendly, so especially going into high school, I was like, okay, it'd be good to have a good support network like that.
Did you ever, how long have you played with the same people?
Madison and I have been playing together since we were 10, and then Nicole and I since we were 11, so a long time.
What do you think it is about the game, besides the people that you really enjoyed and stuck with?
I think I really like the strategy part of it. In other sports, I think it's really intense all the time, so you don't have a lot of time to think. But with softball, there's moments where it's really, really intense, but you also kind of have to think about what you're going to do, what play you want to run, what pitch you want to throw. So I like that part of it, too.
And what positions do you play?
I play first base.
Okay. So at first, what do you think the biggest challenge is?
I think definitely catching everything. Like you have to be everywhere, low, high, to the right, to the left. So I think that's probably the hardest part. You feel like you have to be everywhere in any direction all the time.
Okay. And then from season to season, what do you sort of work on to get better?
I think hitting is my biggest thing. You know, during off season, I want to hit as much as possible, whether it's on the tee or hitting live. Just working on my swing anytime I can get, any chance I get.
Okay. And then do you take time off?
I do. So during the summer, I don't play a ton. I'll work with like my family and stuff like that. My dad's really into it, so I'll hit with him, but I don't play on a team.
All right, and then tell me what you guys do for team bonding.
We do karaoke nights, which are always a lot of fun. We have team dinners. We have one tonight, so that's where we all eat together and kind of bond before every home game. So it's a lot of fun.
Okay, and then who's the best karaoke singer?
Nicole definitely thinks she is, but she just likes to sing a lot. She's not the best. I think Madison's probably the best.
I've been playing softball since I was 6, and I actually kind of looked into it. Or was unlucky. Like my parents signed me up, and the night before I was like, I don't want to do this, but then we like couldn't get our money back, so that's how like all of this started for me.
So what was it that you fell in love with because you've been playing for a long time?
I feel like it first started with me with hitting. I just loved the way it felt when I was able to hit and then run because I love to run the bases too.
Okay. And what position do you play?
I play shortstop, second, and outfield.
Okay. For short, what do you think the biggest challenge is?
Probably trying to cover as much ground as possible and being able to get to the ball as quick as I can.
Okay. And then what do you do in the off season to sort of get a little bit better for the next year?
Well, I do play soccer beforehand, but then I also work with my travel team and go to a hitting coach.
Do you ever take any time off?
Yes, I do. I find I feel like time off is very important.
Yeah, just to kind of like rest the muscles,
yes,
right?
Definitely, because my muscles get tight.
I'm sure your parents are glad that you stuck with it too.
Yes, definitely.
All right, tell me what you guys do for team bonding.
Well, we have a team dinner tonight, so we're going to hang out after practice. And then we also did karaoke like the day of spring break on Friday, so that was cool.
And who was the best singer?
Nicole would want me to say it's her, but I just can't.
I've been playing since I was 6 years old, and my older sister played for 2 years, and I saw her practice and play, and I was like, this is probably for me. So I tried it out for 1 year, and I actually got hit in the face. And so I quit for a year because I'm like, I am not doing this. And then my mom was like, Nicole, like, just try it one more time. And so I was like, fine, I guess I'll try it one more time. And then I made the all-star team, and it was just like, ever since then, I've loved it. And now I get to play in college too. So
That is so exciting. Are you a senior?
I'm a senior, yeah.
Where are you going to school?
Washington University in St. Louis.
Congratulations. That is quite an accomplishment.
Super excited, yeah.
What position do you play?
I play first base for high school and more outfield on my club team, and hopefully I'll play both in college. So,
Why do you think that you're better at those positions?
I tried the other positions. I played pitcher, catcher, second base, and none of them, like, I've kind of just been bounced around whatever my team needs me. And so 3 years ago, we didn't have any outfielders. So I was like, you know what, I'll try outfield. And so I went to a bunch of clinics and practices, and I fell in love with it, and that's like my favorite. And then 2 years ago, the high school team didn't have a first baseman. So I was like, all right, I'll try it. Why not? And so then I practiced at first base, and I absolutely loved it too. So now I get to play 4 positions on the field. So
I was just going to ask you if you play all the outfield positions or just one or two.
My favorite is center field, of course, but I play all 3. So
you like being the captain out there?
Yes, I'm actually the captain of this team too. Yeah, yeah.
All right. So when you're in the outfield, because it is so far out and people don't realize, what do you think the biggest challenge is?
Honestly, probably staying focused, because it's hard because you don't have that action every single play, but you still have to stay focused because when the time comes and the ball comes to you, you have to be ready. So
is it the same for first?
Yeah, first base there's a little more action because you're just so much up close. You're more close up, but yeah, you have to stay focused too. Okay. So
what do you guys do for team building?
We have karaoke nights. Singing High School Musical is definitely a favorite. We have lots of team dinners, and then the night before a league game, we have dinners that they come to the field, and we have dinners too.
Okay, now because you're the captain, who is the best singer at karaoke?
Oh my gosh, that is hard. I mean, as softball players, we're all really great singers, but I don't know, probably Madison, I'd say.
How's the coach?
We love him. Yeah.
I've been playing softball since I was about 6 years old. I was introduced to a lot of different sports when I was very young. My mom was very athletic as a child, so I was kind of put into a lot of different sports. And I just really enjoyed softball, and so I played a lot of different sports until I was about 12 years old. And then at 12, I decided that was the sport that I enjoyed most, and so I decided to continue pursuing that.
And what positions do you play?
I'm a pitcher and a first baseman.
Okay, and then as far as pitching goes, that's very different. What do you think your biggest challenge is, and what do you like to work on from year to year since you've been playing for so long?
One of my biggest challenges has always been speed, because I tend to be better at spinning and locating the ball than my speed. And so with that, I have to make sure that I'm doing a lot of weights and like pushing my endurance so that I can strengthen myself and put more emphasis behind the ball. Because as a pitcher, it's an advantage to be taller, and I'm not. A lot of pitchers tend to be like 6 feet or over if they're really good, and I'm only 5'7". So it's like been a struggle to kind of overcome that. And year to year, I just really like to focus on improving like small aspects of my pitching, making sure that I focus on hitting my spots a little bit more perfectly, or making my spin break just a little bit more, just small differences from one year to the next.
Do you take time off in the off season, or do you continue to throw?
I play outside of high school too, so I'm on a travel ball team. So I take 2 weeks off for Christmas and 2 weeks off for summer, but other than that, I'm year round.
Clayton Kershaw over here, right? All right, and then what is your favorite pregame meal?
Pre-game, like right before the game or the night before? Something light, probably like a light, healthy sandwich or something, salad.
Okay. And then for you as a pitcher, do you sort of, do you listen to music before you start? Like, what do you do to sort of get, into the groove?
I listen to music before I start my warm-up, so I have like a certain playlist that helps me kind of like get in the mood. And then, it's kind of just like a pump-up playlist that helps me get energized into the game.
And that will do it for today's show. Thanks so much for watching. And remember, you can watch Playing the Field 24/7 at playingthefieldtv.com. I'm Maria Serrao, and we'll see you next time.